It's letters for my angel. Angel, I hope you're well. Dear Helen, I hope you are well. I'm sitting in Hotel El Dorado. Here are a few links to my reviews. It is an amazing hotel in Kelowna. It was built, or at least some of it was, in 1926. Some of the reviews are about the place and some of them are about the food. And the food is absolutely amazing. But their heirloom red 2017 vintage is absolutely one of the best red wines I have ever had the pleasure of tasting. No word of a lie. It is the first time that I literally could not do anything except say, wow. Honest to the world star. Thank you for that. That is the first thing I did when I checked into this hotel 3 days ago. It was a truly unforgettable experience. My real estate agent, having just dropped me off and apologizing for not being able to get me a lakeside view unit, passed me the keys and offered to carry my bags, which I declined. As a COVID precautionary measure, I was shown the entrance I was to use to come and go from my room, and upon walking in, I had a very pleasant, cheery sensation. Having only 2 laptop bags, I decided to take the stairs to the second floor. Sure, I noted the 1930s carpet and a great deal of the old wood trim and doors. But to be honest, I was very excited to get to a fully serviced restroom and shave. Yes, you heard me correctly. I wanted to shave. So almost as soon as I entered room 212 of the old part of the hotel, running some bath water was almost the first thing that I did upon entering the room. I actually think it was the second thing I did, and I'm sure it was the second time that an uncontrollable urge to let out another belly felt wow came over me. Having just walked down the hallway, I was delightfully surprised by the wooden window coverings and the light quality of the room. The 2 beds were spaced far enough apart that 2 couples most likely would be able to sleep there without an orgy happening, but the massive ensuite balcony would have likely put a little lust potion into that mix were there a hot tub on it. Apologies for rambling, yet this is my hotel experience, and it was unlike any I've ever had before. That said, I have no idea if you are ever going to read this letter and if you are happy to have received it from me. I sincerely hope that you are, as I'm so happy to be communicating with you, and I hope you read on to find out what made me have the uncontrollable urge to write you. Back to my wows. So I opened a bottle of red wine to let it breathe upon first entering the room. That was the first thing that I did. And I'm really not sure why you have this idea that I drink a lot or am some kind of alcoholic, because I can assure you that I'm not. That said, I do believe some moments in life are better with the red wine tongue and the slight liberation offered by a glass or two. Pleasantly surprised upon seeing the restroom, I began to draw a bath in the newer synthetic material, high backed clawfoot bathtub that you see me sitting in right now. And it was an excellent addition to the room to add to the cleanliness by using a new tub, but maintain the beauty and character synonymous with the vintage of the hotel. As a matter of fact, it was sitting in that exact bathtub that produced my second outburst of pleasure upon entering my suite, but it is the first that I'd rather share with you, as I feel you may enjoy it more. But prior to telling you about it, I'd like to share some hope and guidance from myself to you in the event that you are happy to receive this letter and you eagerly long for the time we are able to see each other in person. My advice to you is to be more honest and transparent, especially with me. As you noted, I'm a genius. Or rather, as you noted incorrectly, and you said that I was a genius. It is not exactly true. You see, I'm simply and painfully connected very closely to what I refer to as the source. Some people call it God, and you, my angel, that forever changed my life, referred to it as the world star. And what this close connection brings to me, and you incorrectly identified as being a genius, is this unique phenomenon that I cannot explain, and I hate it more often than not. But I cannot be lied to. The truth always seems to come to me. So, for our future to be amazing and pleasant, please always be honest and transparent with me. And honest is so much different than just telling the truth. The last several weeks have been very tough for me, and if you don't like my style of rambling writing, I would imagine reading the preceding 9 pages may have started to produce a sensation of slight discomfort. If so, feel it, let it build, start to really detest it. Wait just a little longer and release. I'm just joking, and I hope you know. So the first wow that came uncontrollably from my mouth was immediately after I took off all my clothes and looked down at the bottle of red wine I had allowed to breathe just several minutes before. My word, Helena, how I love the way your mind always goes straight to the gutter. The wow came as a result of me looking down in the glass that I was holding, and it contained a 2017 Hotel El Dorado heirloom red, as I had just taken my first sip of this wine, and it was unlike any other red I had consumed before. And the 3 days and several more bottles later, I still get this uncontrollable sense to let out a scream of satisfaction upon a glass's initial sip. The aroma, the berries, the heaviness, the legs for miles. Truly a wine that I will never forget. There have been several occasions where I asked myself if the wine was a port or not. Now, I hope I have the opportunity to share a bottle with you sometime, and until that day comes, I wanted to give you a little update and see if you are interested in joining me on some travels this December. As you may recall, I was not too far away from being homeless, and I still have no real ID or even $5 to my name. As a result of being a victim of an organized cybercrime attack. But to be quite honest, I do believe the squatters living in my $1 million house are most likely related to that one young bed and breakfast guest that rented one of my suites early this July. That was an experience in and of itself, but I am sure you remember the guest that left as a result of being chased by the law. Remember the 12-inch black dildo, the stripper pole, the ice pick and switchblade, the drug dealing Sikh from Kamloops? Yeah, young Mrs. Gill. I'm pretty sure the squatters who have stolen every single thing I own, my identity, destroyed my house, applied for loans, credit cards, and even purchased vehicles in my name, are all related. The connections are there, and a $1 million property purchased at the right time does make for a pretty good mark. Add to the fact that I help drug addicts, junkies, and hookers get off the streets, deal with their addictions, and try to help them become entrepreneurs, and it is pretty easy to see the reason a group of predatory, delinquent, lifelong criminals could make a real strong run at coming after me and my property. Now, some may say I'm a little too complicated, but there really are only two people or parties that would have the resources and connections to pull this level of a heist off. And to be honest, it could be to the level that they're even connected or collaborating. I sincerely hope not, but I won't rule out that fact or that opportunity because money does make the world go round. And there's a lot of money in drugs and there's a lot of money in human trafficking. However, my angel, that is not at all what I want to think about or talk about because I pray that that experience is soon behind me. And it is my next experience that I want to talk about, and I hope for it to happen perfectly on your schedule. All I need to do is begin getting my COVID vaccines and rebuilding my ID. But essentially, the moment I am free to travel, I am out of this country, and I am unsure as to whether or not I will ever come back. I will be going to Taiwan as soon as I can, perhaps with a stop in New Zealand. It all depends on how easy travel is, and I am writing you to see if you would like to accompany me. That is the purpose of this letter, and there is a secondary purpose, and it is a little lighter in worth, but I would like to apologize for upsetting you. I am sorry, Helen. The stress I have been under is a stress I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemies, and I will never forget the day that you referred to me as your friend, and yourself as my angel. Because I cannot forget these occasions, it hurt me so deeply when I asked you for help and you refused or offered it with some sort of riddle like answer. You have no idea how hard it is for me to ask for help, as so few people have ever truly really helped me without their own self serving intentions. I know that you help without these self serving intentions because you understood my view of karma and how the Western world has it all wrong. The reason I felt compelled to write you tonight is as a result of tears rolling down my face for the third time while watching TV. And as you know, I've long not been one who wastes time watching TV, but tonight I needed to. I've even had a hard time praying and meditating, and as a matter of fact, since I truly began to pray with my mind and heart cohesion, this is the first time that I have been unable to pray. In our day and age, the only benefit I see of TV is, for many, that it is essentially a time for them to shut their minds off and not think. A modern form of meditation, if you will. The moment of tears that have me writing you stem from a young couple walking through the woods. It is a very tense time for them, and they are walking through the woods because they are on patrol. Regardless, there apparently has been an energy between the two for some time, and the young man turns to the woman and says, "I don't see anyone. I think we are clear." She looks at him and says, "Why do you have that look in your eyes like you are about to kiss me? Do you really think that this is an appropriate time?" He replies exactly as I would and says, "All I know is this is the moment I'm alive. I don't know if tomorrow will ever come or not. And this is a moment that we have never seen before and will never see again. We've looked around and we both agree there is no danger here and there is no one watching us. And so if it is all right with you, I would love to kiss you. May I?" "Yes," is all she replied when I turned off the TV and began writing this letter to you. I hope you recall that I've said many times that the mind is the sexiest attribute of a woman. And in terms of romance, if the energy is there, then the energy is there. If it is not, then it is not. And as we have never seen each other in person, neither of us know if that energy is there or not. That said, I'd still like to be your angel just as much as you claim to be mine. And it would be an honor to introduce you to my boys. After all, you are the angel that introduced me to the world star. With love, Akai.